Hello everybody, welcome to Harvest Beat. My name is Chef Joe Iannelli. Today we're going to do a lobster mushroom bisque, and that's going to be served with Macrina Bakery baguettes, a crostini that we'll toast, and then this Tonemaker pepper relish. We're also using all the beautiful vegetables from Full Circle Farm, and we're excited to kind of highlight those in all of the dishes that you're going to have at your house when you make all of these. We will be making the soup for you, so it takes a little bit off of your plate when you get these boxes at home. Alright everybody, so we're going to go to, this is my favorite bakery in Seattle, but Macrina Bakery, and we're having this beautiful rolls for you guys to have outside of your box here. And all I'm going to do is making kind of the garnish for your soup dish. You'll have a little bit of extra bread because you're going to have this beautiful whole loaf, and so I'm just going to slice them, and you can slice them as much as you want, but I'm just going to look to get one piece for each soup that you're going to plate at home. And then you can warm up the rest of this bread and save it for yourself on the side throughout your dinner. But we're going to make a little bit of crostinis to go on top of the dish, your soup dish, your lobster mushroom bisque. And one other fun part is right before I toast these in the oven, we're going to have this beautiful pepper jam. It's going to add a little spice to the soup. And this is going to go as a nice garnish, and you can dip it in the lobster bisque. And we're going to add the pepper jam. This is from Tonemaker's peppers, a little bit of agave, and so it has a little sweet and spice. And then we'll toast these nice little baguettes right in your oven. You can just put it on the rack or a sheet pan, and you can toast them. You could also toast them in your toaster, and then add the pepper relish that I'll have in your boxes right after. Okay. So you're going to be pulling your lobster mushroom bisque out of your box, and we're going to pour that into your soup cup. But before you do that, you're going to need to heat it up for a little bit. So I would suggest taking a small pot and pouring it into the pot, your soup, and heating it kind of on a low to no higher than medium until you can heat it up so it doesn't stick to the bottom. But you just want to get it hot just like as you're heating up soup at home, so it shouldn't be that challenging. And then I'll show you one thing. This will be the pureed soup that you will have in your box ready to go, and hopefully you'll have some really beautiful ornate dishes at home that you can pour it into. And the beautiful part about this is we're going to use that crostini that I showed, we just quickly toasted with the roasted Tonemaker pepper jam, and that's going to go either on side or in the soup for you, which will be really nice. It will contrast with the bisque with a little bit of spicy and sweetness to it. Just want to make sure that everybody really knows that Tonemaker and Full Circle Farms are a salmon-safe farm. It's really awesome that a lot of the farms that we use here at Harvest Beats are really practicing amazing standards to keep the environment healthy. It's only going to be more important as we move into the future in these crazy times. So I really applaud their effort, and that's why I love to use their ingredients here at Harvest Beat. Thank you. I'm really excited to look at these delicata squashes, first of the year, and they look gorgeous. We're going to do some really fun dish with this. It's vegan and vegetarian, and we're going to do a half-roasted delicata squash cup. We're going to fill that with a celery root cashew cheese. I'll show you the cashew cheese, but you'll have to come into Harvest Beat to really try the whole thing. But here is going to be the cup. We're just going to take these delicatas, take the ends off, and they're really beautiful right now. They're very soft, and I know they're going to roast really well. They're creamy. And so we're going to have these half little cups, and we will basically just hollow them out. I just take the back of a spoon, kind of see, and you just pop out the core. Kind of scraping it like a pumpkin, just to get all the seeds out of it. If you're really adventurous and you want to pick through the seeds at home and then roast them with a little bit of olive oil and salt, they're a really delicious snack. So there we are with the two hollowed cups. And then I will show you kind of what the finished product looks like after roasting it. We just roast it till it gets nice caramelization. And for the celery roots, wow, these are also gorgeous from Full Circle Farm. These are a really fun vegetable. I love using the celery roots. We actually make some really fun raviolis with this, as using this as the actual pasta sheet. But today we're just going to clean the celeriac or celery root, and we're going to cube them into nice little cubes and then just simply roast them with a little salt and some grapeseed oil. And that's going to get a nice caramelization, and then we're going to toss that into our cashew cheese. One thing that I'll note is with a lot of these scraps of the vegetables, especially celery root, leeks, onions, I will keep this and use it for all of the veg stock that we make. We make quite a bit of that here at the restaurant. But you can freeze it and pull out it batch once a month when you do it at home and make veg stock for yourself. It's much better than using water to cook all your grains and rice in. So we have the celery roots, and we're just going to make a couple nice little slices. So creamy, really nice. The freshness on these are impeccable. And then we're just going to cube them. And this is what's going to be, after roasting them, they're going to go into your cashew cheese. And that's what's going to be stuffed inside of the roasted delicata squash, these nice little chunks of celery root. Alright everybody, I've showed you how to cut the celery root or celeriac and also the delicata squashes. And what we will do with this is kind of gently rub them with a little bit of sea salt and some grapeseed oil, and then we'll roast them face down on a sheet pan. We'll just roast these next to them. They'll roast at the same time on a sheet pan. And then your finished product, which is really fun, is going to be this really beautiful caramelized delicata squash. I love keeping the skin on these. One, just that's where all the vitamins are, and they're so edible with the delicatas. And then we have our celery root that roasted right next door to that. Nice little caramelization. And so the celery root itself is going to go into our cashew cheese. This is a fun product we make here. It's a fermented nut cheese, and it gives you a lot of creaminess and fat to a lot of the dishes, and it's going to souffle up in this cup. So I have some of the cashew cheese right here, and we're going to add a little bit more of the celery root. We're just going to mix that up all together. This cashew cheese, now that it's been fermented, does have a little bit of some fresh rosemary and sage and thyme in it. And then we will take our nice roasted cup, and we're just going to fill it, almost like a little souffle cup, and also like this beautiful savory cupcake. And this is a great fall time dish. It kind of hits all of those flavors. Okay, so here is your stuffed delicata squash with the cashew cheese and celery root puree. The cashew cheese, and roasted celery roots. And we're going to throw this in the oven for just about 5-10 minutes at 425. Convection oven if you have it, no big deal if you don't. We'll pop that in. And then while all that's working, we're just going to have you guys prepare the farro salad that you have in your boxes, and that's going to be going perfectly with the delicata as your vegetarian option for our dinner tonight. Thank you. My favorite bakery in Seattle, but Macarena Bakery, and we're having this beautiful rolls for you guys to have outside of your box here. And all I'm going to do is making kind of the garnish for your soup dish. You'll have a little bit of extra bread because you're going to have this beautiful whole loaf, and so I'm just going to slice them. And you can slice them as much as you want, but I'm just going to look to get one piece for each soup that you're going to plate at home. And then you can warm up the rest of this bread and save it for yourself on the side throughout your dinner. But we're going to make a little bit of crostinis to go on top of the dish. Your soup dish, your lobster mushroom bisque. And one other fun part is right before I toast these in the oven, we're going to have this beautiful pepper jam. It's going to add a little spice to the soup. And this is going to go as a nice garnish, and you can dip it in the lobster bisque. And we're going to add the pepper jam. This is from Tonemaker's Peppers, a little bit of agave, and so it has a little sweet and spice. And then we'll toast these nice little baguettes right in your oven. You can just put it on the rack or a sheet pan, and you can toast them. You could also toast them in your toaster and then add the pepper relish that I'll have in your boxes right after. Okay, everyone, the It's time for a feast on the farm at your own home. So we're going to pull out the delicata squash that we've roasted. One last time, this has the cashew cheese and the roasted celery roots in it. We have our nice warm farro salad with sunchokes and lemon parsley. We're just going to take this beautiful guy out. Careful, it's a little hot. We're going to center that right in the middle. You can see how the cheese souffles up nicely. And then we're just going to add a nice little garnish of the lemon parsley oil. And this is a really amazing fall dish. I'm really highlighting a lot of the stuff from Full Circle Farm.